Hey, welcome to the Canadian Podcaster Online Magazine. It's February. It's a month full of love, and I love that you're here, and I love that you have a podcast, or you're working on one, right? It's February, right? You should be starting by now. You should. Happy Valentine's Day month. It's a month of love. It's a month of connection. It's a month of passion. Ooh. And it's a month of podcasting, and I'm excited to be with you. I want to encourage you right from the beginning. In the online magazine, the only online magazine for Canadian podcasters, yes, there's our newsletters, and they are great, but this is the only place you're going to find an online magazine just for you, a Canadian podcaster. I want to encourage you to fall in love with podcasting again. And I have a little short article in this month's magazine about this. I'd love for you to read it. Even put a little bit of some candy hearts in there for you. That's just me being me, right? And do you remember when you were little? Like I'm old. We used to do like Valentine's Day cards, and you'd have to like your parents would bring you like a box of these cards. You'd have to write on every one of them. You get a list from the teacher of all the students in your class. And you're like writing to Sarah from Dave, to Joe from Dave, to Emily from Dave. And then you go around and you give out all these Valentines, right? And then people started adding candy to them and all that stuff. It's Valentine's Day, right? We're thinking about other people and connection. All of these things have a relationship with podcasting, right? We love our audience. We love doing our podcast. We love connecting with our audience, and we love thinking about our audience. Like, how could we engage with them more? How could we show our appreciation, right? This is a month where I think, even though it's February and it's cold, in most parts here in Canada, it's a time for us to kind of go, well, what can we do this month on purpose, with intent, to build up our community for our podcast? Now, you could have 3 episodes, you could have 300 episodes. Building community with your audience isn't something that's only for the big shows. It's not only for the team of 20 that create a single episode, the big shows, No, it's for the independent podcaster with 5, 10 people who listen to your episodes. How can we build, in the month of February, a deep engagement opportunity for us to do this? Like, just really build that relationship. I think it's within all of our abilities to do this. And I want to encourage you to fall in love with your podcast again. If you've lost your spark, if you are really struggling right now with your show to the point where you're even considering stopping your podcast because of low engagement or whatever, this is the month where I want you to turn your attention to your content and to your audience. Forget your analytics, forget all that stuff. Focus on the people that are listening to your show. And in the magazine for February, I've focused on 3 parts in my little behind the mic segment within the magazine. And basically, look, we're looking at, we need to go back and revisit our why for our show. We need to switch up our format. So try something different that you haven't done on your show, or bring back something and make it fun again. I think making our podcast fun is going to give you so much life. It's going to show up. It's going to come through your voice, in through your microphone, straight into my ears when you're enjoying what you're doing. It's time to fall in love with our podcast again. I think it's really important. So welcome to February 2026. I'm excited. This is a lot of good stuff. Let's jump in. My good podcast buddy is back. Scarlet Classic is here, and she's talking about, have you fallen out of love with your show? Do you see a theme here? Yeah, okay. And she's talking around how to keep us from pod fading. So definitely go check out Scarlet Classic and check out Classic Advice, Classic Chronicles rediscover.ca. Links are in where, Dave? Where are the links? In the magazine. So you could definitely go check out Scarlett. Great to have her along, writing in the magazine now. She's already got all the articles for the year written. Like, how's that? Cool. If you want to write for the magazine, just like Scarlett Classic, we'll just keep adding more pages. So if you want to write for the magazine, let me know. Follow Scarlett's lead. Write for the magazine, share your thoughts. Love to have your input as well. Scarlett, thank you for keeping us from pod fading and encouraging us along the way. It's great. Everyone go check out Scarlett's article in February's edition. It's right there. Go check it out. We have another fabulous group of podcasters that are featured for February in the magazine. If you like music, if you're a dad, another podcast about podcasting with Mary Chan. If you love to quilt, if you love to read, if you love movies, if you've been to Newfoundland, if you love money, if you know how to run, if you know about Greek mythology, then you're going to love our great group of podcasters in February. Now, remember, on the 15th of February, after Valentine's Day is kind of come and gone, what do? We come back here on the 15th of February. We will do a second episode of the Canadian Podcaster Online Magazine podcast. And we're going to actually have clips from each of these shows so that you can hear the show. And again, all the links to all of the podcasts that we feature are in the what, everybody? In the magazine. Yes, you're right. You can click right through and go check it out. So come back on the 15th and check out some of the most amazing Canadian voices in podcasting featured here like only we do on the Canadian Podcaster Online Magazine. I'm so glad to have these people here, and this is exactly what we want to do and do more of. So if you are a Canadian podcaster listening to this right now, you hear my voice, hi, and we haven't featured you yet, then you need to reach out to us. CanadianPodcaster.com is the website. Either SpeakPipe, there's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us. We want to hear from you, and we want to feature your show. So send us a link to your podcast, your website, where can we find you, and all that great stuff. And we'll have you in March, April, May, June, July. How about November? Yeah, we will put you in. We'd love to feature you in the magazine. This is a magazine for us, the indie podcasters, the team of one, the small do-it-yourself podcaster, not the big groups. They've got money for budgets. They got money for advertising. We don't have those kind of resources, so that's what this magazine's all about. So if you're tired of all of the big shows getting all the big press, top 100 this, top 10 that, then what about us? What about us in the top 300, 400, 800? Yeah, that's who we are, and that's who we serve here on the Canadian Podcaster Online Magazine. We love the big shows. That's great. The more big shows, the better, because then more people come to podcasts as listeners, and our show is right next to theirs. Even though we only have a team of one. Yeah, we're still there on the same platforms, right next to the big guys and those big shows. So, yeah, there's a chance for all of us. And a magazine like this, focused on you, the independent podcaster, it's what we do best. So definitely go check it out. Thanks, everybody, for being part of the magazine this month. All you podcasters out there. Can't wait to play your clips from your show on the 15th. Come back on the 15th. Come back. Tell somebody. If you're looking for some guidance around building your home studio, Junaid is an amazing guy. He is at all the big conferences. He's well connected in podcasting. He is one of the sweetest guys you'll ever meet. And he's got 7 stages of home studio evolution. And it's a great guide for you on setting up your space or updating your space. Junaid will help you as well. He's got some great resources. He was on my How to Podcast series. What a great guy. Just outstanding. He knows his stuff. So if you're going to go into video, if you want to sound great on your mic, you want to know tech, then go to the expert. Junaid is your person, and his book is featured in our Bookmark Podcaster Library for February. Definitely go check out 7 Stages of the Home Studio Evolution with Junaid, and I'm sure you're going to love it. Make sure you grab a copy for somebody else at the same time. Junaid, thanks for being part of the magazine. As a podcaster, I love finding tools to help you as a fellow podcaster. One of them that we're featuring this month is PodLink. So pod.link, pod.link. It is a way for you to search up your podcast based on an RSS feed. And if you're not sure what that is, stands for really simple syndication. And it's a way for your podcast where you upload one file, one audio file or video. It actually does video as well. And it goes out to multiple places. Instead of you going individually to all these different places and manually uploading one at a time, you upload once to many, and many report back to you into one dashboard. How podcasting was created originally, still to this day, it works great. And yes, I did say video. There are video RSS feeds available. And did you know, because you probably don't, that Apple has video podcasts? I know. You're like, well, only YouTube does video. No. Apple has video podcasts, and you can have a video podcast on Apple through a hosting site the same way you can do audio. So if you are looking for your show, what I love about pod.link is when you go there, you search up the name of your show, and it gives you back a list of all of the different apps where your podcast is on. So you can see the full list. And if the list is really short, you're missing an opportunity to be on more places. So not only can you look up your podcast, you can look up anybody's podcast. You can look up the How to Podcast series. You can look up the Canadian Podcaster Online magazine. You can look up anything you want. And you can see where all the different apps are. So make sure that list is long and full of all these different apps, and your audience then has a choice. What I love is I use pod.link for my guests. When I send them a link to their episode, I send them the pod.link to that specific episode where they were a guest. You can link to your podcast as a whole or any specific episode. Just copy that URL at the top, that address line, and send that in your email. It works really good. And that's how we build this magazine. So when you go to any of these podcasts that we have featured in the magazine and you click, you're going generally to most of these are going to be right to PodLink. So check it out. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny. And it's a great way to share your podcast. The other tool that we have is we're featuring the reports on Podmatch. Podmatch is a great way to connect with guests if you're a host or if you're a show. And you can either connect with guests or you can be a guest through Podmatch. It's a great podcasting dating site, and it works really well. I love it. My show's there. Come check it out. But they have a thing at podmatch.com/report, and it's a totally free spot on their website. And every month they do a report on the podcast industry. They pull in some pretty outstanding and specific data points around podcasting, and it's a great way for you to get a sense of what's happening in this space. So if you want to know more about podcasting, like how many active shows there are, how many podcast guests are looking for hosts, how many hosts are looking for guests, any of this information, how many episodes is a successful podcaster, there's a lot of great data. Podmatch.com/report is your way to get in and find out more about your podcast and what's happening in the world. So podmatch.com/report. It's right there in the magazine. We all know that February is a short month, and we will be into March before you know it. So my big challenge for you this month is to focus on your love for podcasting and your passion for podcasting. And I talked about passion on an episode of Dad Space, one of my other shows that I host, dadspace.ca. And on Dad Space, I talked about what is passion. And passion, the word passion is actually rooted in two things that seem unrelated to the word. When we talk about passion, we talk about a passion for something that we love, a passion for a relationship, a passion for a hockey team, right? And passion actually there's two words that are kind of root words in the word passion: to suffer and to endure. So let's do a hockey analogy here because we're Canadian. Why not? Our good friends in Toronto who cheer for that team, Toronto Maple Leafs, a great example of passion. Why? Because you have a bunch of people cheering for a team that we all agree they struggle a little bit, right? And it's been a long time since they've had success. Yet they have a passionate fan base, right? They have a bunch of people buying all the stuff, buying the merch, painting their faces, screaming their heads off at games, yelling at the refs, all that stuff. They're passionate. And in true form and relatable to a lot of Leaf fans, they suffer and endure some of the worst hockey at times, unfortunately, and they have been suffering and enduring for a long time. They are passionate. They are suffering and enduring. And when we talk about passion in podcasting, it's not a fluffy word. It's not a word that we just throw around to make ourselves warm and fuzzy. Even in a month full of Valentines, passion is the ability to suffer and endure. So when you talk about passion for your show, my question to you is, if you're passionate about your podcast, like you really care about this show, are you willing to suffer and endure for the sake of your show? Because that is what a passionate person is. That is the earmark of passion. So, as you look at your show this month and you're like, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore, maybe it's just a lack of passion, a lack of commitment to suffer and endure for your audience, for your show, for your content, for your goals. And hopefully a magazine like the Canadian Podcaster Online Magazine and raising and elevating voices from Canada in a world where Canada has a lot of attention right now for a lot of different reasons. We want to raise our voices strong in this country. We need this more than anything. And not only do we need this magazine, we need hundreds more like it, because the more people who help raise Canadian voices, the better. This isn't a competition. This isn't where one voice is the voice of the country. That's impossible. We need as many people as possible. We need a French version of this magazine. I would love to see this magazine in every single province and territory, because we need voices elevating voices. And it doesn't just rely on one or two people to do this. So please do what you can. One of my favorite lines in podcasting, it's my answer to everything. Do what you can with what you have where you are. And I think that is the key thing for us as podcasters in Canada, to do what we can with what we have where we are. So whatever you can do, wherever you are at in this beautiful country of ours, we need you right now. And we need you to create content, Canadian content that talks about Canadian issues to Canadian listeners. We need you. So please go create and fall in love again with your podcast, and do it with passion, willing to suffer and endure. Please. And if you need help, reach out through CanadianPodcaster.com. Hey, and as we head out the door, at the time of recording this, news was coming in about Catherine O'Hara passing away. Yeah, it'd be nice to hear her yell Kevin again from Home Alone, or redo some of those famous Moira lines from Schitt's Creek. What I love when I look back at a talented actor like Catherine is that this is a proud moment for Canada as well, that we can create here in Canada some of the funniest, and kindest people in this world. And they can go on and do great things and entertain and lighten up a world that needs it. And this is a bright light that's gone out for not just Canada, but for the world. So my ask of you is to go flip on a rerun of Schitt's Creek, or go watch Home Alone, or there's so much that Catherine is known for. SCTV and on and on and on. And go have a laugh, because I think that's the best way to celebrate a voice, an actor, a passionate Canadian, is to go laugh and enjoy the gifts that she's left behind for all of us. Catherine, we will miss you. And thank you for everything you've done for us. See you on the 15th. Take care.
David, I'm here! David, come here, please!
I'm sorry for not responding to like one text, David.
Where's David?
David?
Stop yelling, David!